Bro, it's chill. Like, it's just divorce. Yeah,
like that.
Was it really?
Like pretty.
I was very shocked, like how they talk.
They don't seem very happy. 뭐 해야지. Like they always look so defeated.
I don't think that you should worry about, oh, like the kid is gonna be sad and be affected as long as you do your.
안녕하세요. 프랑스에서 온 비비입니다.
안녕하세요. 내 이름은 제이번입니다.
어디에서 왔어요?
그리고 저는 미국 사람입니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 스페인에서 온 미키라고 합니다.
Hello everyone, my name is Gio from Costa Rica.
Can you find any differences about Korean marriage and divorce compared to Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definite yes.
I feel like people get divorced less here and they get divorced a lot in Spain.
As someone who has been married a couple times,
Are you serious?
I have 5 divorces.
Oh my god!
A lot of the couples, the married couples that I see or that I talk to, they don't seem very happy.
It's kind of the same in the States. Like people who didn't live together first and then got married and moved in had more problems.
I remember asking my teacher when I was at Chungang University, we had like a 회식. So because we were drinking, I was like, "Oh, 교수님 혹시 결혼하셨어요?" Like, and he was like, "네." And I was like, "Oh, are you not happy?" He was like, Don't get married too quick. Don't. Or I always hear like, 뭐 해야지. Like they always look so defeated.
I feel like there is always the argument of like, oh, but we have a child.
Yeah.
We can't. But the thing is, I feel like in Spain we think like it can have like a really bad influence psychologically for the child if the parents are always fighting and there's always a bad atmosphere in the family. So it's much better for a kid to grow up with divorced parents, but the kid is happy, like he gets like good influence from both parents, than being in a house that's like broken, basically, in like a broken home. And like I understand like in Korea because it's more of like a traditional, so I understand that, but it's like it could be also dangerous for the kid basically if the parents are always like
Unhappy.
yeah.
Like I hear a conversation when we go to like 술집. Obviously we're 외국인, so people don't think we speak Korean. But we hear the conversation. You have like all the 회사원s, like the workers who are gathering after work, and the way they talk about their wives, like it makes me really it hurts my feelings because I'm like, if I was the wife, I could hear what he's saying.
It would really hurt your feelings.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, I shouldn't have married, or I married too early. I'm like, in that case, just stay single until you're ready. But don't just because society
Says you have to
get married. Now that you have children, you don't even look at your wife because now she's fat, because now she's this and that. I hear that all the time.
So in France and America, you don't say that?
No, because people like they get married after they really know that they're in love. Like they live together. Like I would hear a lot of people say like, oh, we lived together for 5 years. Like, oh, I think I should marry her. Like, then like you have less regret after.
because you've done it. You've seen what your life can possibly play out as.
Yeah.
Versus just jumping into it and you're like, well,
Even
damn,
if
we're married
divorce is
now.
high, but divorce is divorce. For me, like the percentage of divorce doesn't mean anything. It's the fact that you're talking shit about your wife, but you know you can't divorce because society will not accept it.
It's the whole like arranged marriages and like the people who get married very quickly, plus the fact that people don't feel comfortable getting divorced at all. So it just everything added up is just like so many unhappy marriages.
But I kind of
Really
feel that
unhealthy.
if you put it on, there will be a lot of people offended.
I mean, that's what I've experienced in Korea.
But these days, a lot of people just have children and live together, and then marriages kind of last usually. Because first, the divorce rate is pretty high. So nowadays, people just think like, what's the point of doing the whole traditional thing? And sometimes people would stay for like 5-10 years, and then when they're really sure, they're like, all right, cool, let's get married because this is just a piece of paper.
Also, in Korea, I've only been to one Korean wedding. It seems like the wedding is really fast.
Oh, really?
The one that I went to was pretty fast. But our weddings, they can be kind of lengthy, you know? And then in my state, if you're together for 10 years, then you are legally married.
Just by living together?
just by living together for a period of 10 years. And it's different state to state. Like at that point, you guys have been living together, you've been a couple for 10 years, then you are legally married.
And then we don't get consent from the parents anymore these days.
Yeah.
If I want to marry someone, that's my issue, and I don't.
It can become problematic though. Like if the mother doesn't want it, you know, you can have a
Yeah.
problem. But overall, you don't need it in my country.
It's good to like say my boyfriend wants to marry me, right? We want to get married. But if they say no,
It doesn't matter.
oh, too bad. Like we're gonna get married anyways, not a question.
Yeah.
Korean weddings are very expensive. The apartments are so expensive.
I've seen.
But why does it have to be so expensive?
The apartments, like
No, the
The
wedding.
the wedding.
You just, because it's like your big day, you want to go all out.
Yeah, and the wedding halls are very expensive.
Oh, really?
But
To rent
can't
them
you
out?
just get married like wherever you want?
I feel like in Korea, I've heard many people just worrying about, I don't have enough money, so I don't know if I can get married. But in Spain, people don't have that mindset. They think, oh, if I want to get married, yes, I have to spend some money, but you can do just a cheap marriage, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have to do it in a wedding
You
hall?
can't do it like at a beach or at a vineyard or something.
That's not common.
No, really?
But you have that a lot?
Yeah, a lot of people do it. Like I wouldn't want to have mine at a beach, but a lot of people will do it at the beach or at a vineyard or something.
At the church. Don't people get married in church?
They do, but only Catholics or...
Oh, really? That's different, yeah.
So it's more like the idea of adulting and like in the future. But the marriage itself is not like huge of an idea.
What about your parents?
Oh,
Are they happily married?
Like for me, like I don't think they're like madly in love, but what I really admire is that they have a lot of respect for each other. They're together, they're like, oh, she talks too much. But every time my mom is apart, my dad is always like, she's always giving her compliment. My mom is like, you know your dad, he was really hard for you guys. Like they're always talking good about each other when they're not around, but when they're together, they're like, oh, you talk too much. But like they get each other gifts, like, you know, like my dad would like randomly buy her like flowers or like perfume or whatever, and my mom would buy him stuff too. Like it's just, they always try to do something for each other.
actually, my mom and dad, they had me without being married. So they were just living together and they had me and then they lived together for some more and then they got separated. But my mom and stepdad, when they got married, when my stepdad proposed to my mom, he actually took her to Italy.
No.
Yeah. And my mom was saying, she was saying to me like, oh, Nikki, like I wasn't sure if I wanted to get married to him, but when he proposed to me in like Italy in like such a beautiful like setting, she was like, okay, you know, like,
If you
like,
put
you
it
know
like
what?
that.
Yeah.
My parents, they were together for like 20 years and then they ended up splitting like once I went off to college. And now my dad he finally got married after 3 years of being with my stepmom. They communicate, like they've been friends all their lives since they were like 12.
Wow.
Yeah, no butterflies, but
Yeah.
No, like for me also, like my parents divorced when I can't remember even. Like, I didn't remember. For all my life, they've been separated. But like I always see my dad and always see my mother, and they get along very well. Like sometimes we did trips to the States together, even though they are separated. So I never got bad about it. Very chill about it, because it's just like my life. But then I told it to one Korean person, and I'm just like telling very chill. And the whole way they talked to me, I was like, bro, it's chill. Like, it's just
like,
divorce.
oh my god, and you're like, oh no,
Yeah,
like that.
I was like,
Oh, like
what?
pretty.
I was very shocked, like how they talk to you.
Then do you think you can get happily married too? Like, and live forever with one person?
I don't know. Honestly, okay, that is.
I mean, I have married 5. I'm pretty sure I can do.
I'm a romantic person. So I really like the idea of spending your life with like one person basically. I think it's possible.
I think it's
not
possible,
always.
so-
Of course not always. Not everyone can do that, but it's possible.
Some days I'm like, I think I could get married one day, but I always said like, I don't know if I will ever get married. Being with one person is kind of scary. Get married, have kids, and then you guys
then,
fight and
yeah.
it fall apart, and now you're like, oh, like I didn't have to choose this life, you know?
Like in my ideal life, I would fall in love and be madly in love for the rest of my life. But I just feel like as I grow older, I realize that when they give me advice, they always say, don't.
Don't. don't.
I'm not saying that I can do it.
I don't say that I can do it.
But I'm pretty sure some people can fit it very well too.
The conclusion is
Oh.
being said.
The conclusion is this new generation, I think, is really focusing on it, but you need to do what makes you happy. You can worry about finding a long-term spouse later.
Even though my
Especially
my
once.
parents didn't, like my original parents didn't get married, I would really love to get married in the future. I think it's such a beautiful thing, personally. So I think that it would be great if people like took time to get to know each other,
Yeah.
and then, you know.
Marriage shouldn't be taken like lightly, like just because you like someone. Because marriage involves a lot of things,
It's so
sacrifice.
important.
I still don't think that you should, I don't think that you should worry about, oh, like the kid is gonna be sad and be affected, as long as you do your job as a parent to make them feel loved.
That's
You should
also
explain
that,
it.
like being open with your kid, because I feel like we don't, like it's like adults. This is adult business, so it's none of your business. We don't talk about certain things. You need to be honest with them, and it's easier to explain to them like sometimes this is how life goes.
My parents are divorced, like it's something like very natural. Like you shouldn't feel bad about yourself just for that.
Yeah. It's important for people to not like pity others because their parents are divorced, they were born in like maybe broken homes.
You don't have to feel bad about them because they will notice and it feels bad.
So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
Be happy, bye.
Be happy.
And wait, oh my god, wait, no. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video.
What is poo, like kissing?
Popo is just like smacking, not kisses like.
Like my father, he basically just picked her up one day on the car and he just gave her a drink like, let's marry, and that's it. And I was like, that's all you did?
No! Oh my god, a tear is like falling down my eye. Like.
I was like, that.